Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of the Chat Café. Today I'm here with Thato, who's going to share with us all about his career in data science. So if you want to find out all about that, do stay tuned. But before we get started, I'd like to let you know that this video is brought to you by IT Business Tech. So if you're looking for IT services and solutions, they have got you covered. They have innovative technology solutions tailored to your business needs, from technology consultation, software development, search engine optimization, cybersecurity, and cloud computing. They've got you covered. So if you want to find out all about that, do check out the link in the description. But yeah, guys, I have Thato here. And as I said, we're going to be getting into data science. So can you tell us a little more about yourself?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to highlight actually that I find it very interesting how YouTubers do the whole welcome back to my YouTube channel. You do it with so much enthusiasm. So I love
I'm excited to be here.
But otherwise, firstly, congratulations on the new podcast. So
thank you.
Really looking forward to seeing your subscriber base grow exponentially.
Thank you.
And thanks for having me as well.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks. For myself, well, my name is Thato Tshukudu, and I'm a data practitioner within the telecom space. So I work for one of the big telecoms in the country. I won't say which one, because then people tend to ask for weird favors, can I get free airtime and data? And I'm like, guys, I work with data, not data. So those are totally different concepts.
Okay.
But that's essentially my 9 to 5.
Okay.
And then I also do freelance development. I'm a freelance developer in the private and the public sector, and I also run a business with you as well.
Yes, we actually run a business together, by the way.
But just to clarify a bit, so I know I said data and developer in the same statement.
Yeah.
But so that I can just give a brief background. So I studied at the same university that you did as well. We actually studied at the University of Pretoria, BIT.
Okay.
So we had the same classes. So actually, ironically, I could see her. She used to have dreads as well.
Yeah.
But she used to be very quiet. Guys, the sort of energetic person that you get to see
it's
now.
Not I used to be. I was still very quiet. It's just the camera brings out all the energy. yeah.
But yeah, so I used to bump into her, not bump into her, but I used to see her. So we used to share some computer science classes. But what I studied was BIT, which the original BIT basically was a trifecta, or 3 degrees in one, where we focus on computer science, information systems, as well as information science, informatics, information science, and computer science.
Okay, cool.
So there's some classes that I shared with you. So the first to third year, I would say my passions and my focus was on software development.
All right.
My final year project was software engineering. Then I got to honors. During honors, I started to develop a passion for cybersecurity.
Okay.
Because we deep dived into it.
Yeah.
But then I went into industry. Now in industry, I basically started working for the same company that funded me.
Okay. So is that how you got your
first job?
Yeah.
Yes, basically. Okay. Now when you get there, you just graduated, so they don't force you to specialize in something. So they basically give you an open space to say, okay, yes, you studied IT, but is that really what you're passionate about? Do you want to do development as a guarantee, as an obvious choice, or do you want to explore other aspects of the organization within IT as well? Then I said, you know what? Let's try something. I want to try something new, right?
Yeah.
And luckily, my supervisor was almost had the same kind of a story path where they studied computer engineering, worked as a software developer, and then eventually did data science, but also then went into the specialization within data science, which is machine learning. And I can also I'll deep dive into the different specializations as well.
All right, cool.
So then he basically, under his supervision and his mentorship, I basically worked on different machine learning. I worked on different aspects of data science. Hence, that's why data science. But data science has different aspects to it. So during that year, I basically got exposed to all the different aspects of it, and then eventually found a role that I solidified in, and which I'm busy with. So my roles and responsibilities do span different aspects of data science, which we can eventually delve into.
Yeah. So what does your day-to-day look like? Because honestly, I'm also I'm here give us that.
Yeah, because I can imagine, because it's data and then it's science. It's what is the science? Well, firstly, maybe let me just give parallels. So software development. If you look at software development, so you get branches in software development, which is you get front end, you get back end, and even within front end, you have different types of specializations within front end. You
Yeah.
can be like HTML, CSS engineer, you can be Angular, or you can be back end with
React
PHP,
Native.
Java natives. So
Yeah.
even with data, you get the same kind of configuration whereby
Okay.
it's data science, but there's different specializations. So you can be big data, you can be data analyst, you can be business intelligence, you can be data engineer, you can be NLP, which is natural language processing. You can also be a machine learning engineer.
Okay.
Now, my day-to-day actually spans across different aspects of
Yeah.
that. Hence, that's
Oh,
why
nice.
data science.
Yeah. Okay.
So, to give you an exact answer to say my day-to-day, I come into the office and I work on big data would be lying, because
Yeah.
it typically starts with one request, and that request then passes through a value chain where I touch on the different specializations. So, for
Okay.
example, let's say an executive says, guys, we're losing customers, low churn rate, low revenue. Now, the request from us is, guys, who are we losing? Why are we losing them? And how can we fix this?
Okay.
So that's a very vague and abstract request, right, from to us.
Yeah.
But we already have, like in our mindset, we have to already think about it from a data perspective, which is, dealing with customers. They're saying we're losing customers. So what kind of customers are we losing?
Okay.
So there's different customer
nice.
sets.
Yeah.
So obviously within the telecom space, you have like your prepaid customers, your contract customers, hybrid customers.
Yeah.
And even within that, you have different segments.
Yeah. Oh.
So
Yeah.
now that's just customers. Then you have, we're losing customers, therefore we're losing money. If we're losing money, low revenue, that means revenue data.
Yeah.
But now all these different aspects of the data, like the revenue, the customers, the different types of customers are all managed by totally different departments and
Okay.
divisions.
Yeah.
So we have to be able to understand where are the different sources, how can we get them?
All right.
But even getting them, all the different sources can come in different formats.
Okay.
There's some data that can just literally be pulled into a TSV format, some in a CSV format, some in a text file, some in different weird formats, right? And a lot of it, it's a lot of data. Hence,
It
big
sounds
data.
like a lot of data. Yeah.
So we start off with the data sources being big data. Hence, that's why then I get to work on like Hadoop and Spark, which are like your big data frameworks.
Oh, okay.
So you get to work on large data sets, and that is data like that's in the. You think you spend 60 gigs on your phone, you're like, I'm running out of data. 2 days ago, I was running a process which took like 500 gigs worth of data. And that's just cute.
Yeah.
So big data can be upwards in
It's
the
literally big data.
exactly.
Like, yeah.
It can be in the terabytes, petabytes, right?
Yeah.
So we start off with that. So now that's big data,
Okay.
and then there's the data engineering aspect of it, where we now have to like transform the data, because since we're getting data from different aspects and different divisions, we get it in formats which are not readily usable.
All right.
So we then have to like collect it, we have to transform it, we have to clean it. There's some aspects of it that don't make sense.
Do you do that with code?
Yes,
too?
definitely.
Okay.
And some of it, yeah, definitely with code. It could be SQL, it could be Python,
Yeah.
or it could be some frameworks such as like Click, for example.
Okay.
So you get the data, and also like on Hadoop, you get all this data,
Yeah.
and then we clean it. You leave out some of the things that you don't need, because like I said, if you're dealing with like terabytes worth of data, there's a lot of data which you don't need. So that's
Okay.
when the cleaning starts in. But then once you've done the whole analysis aspect of it, and you get the data and you've cleaned it and you've get it into a point where it's readily usable, then now we get into a conversation of, do you want to push it into like the business intelligence aspect of data science, where we can do dashboards and reporting on it,
Okay.
because it's ready to actually get those kind of insights where we can show like dashboards and reports? Or do we want to run that data into like a machine learning model and get some more insights?
Oh, okay.
So when you run like such data sets that we process and clean and get into a ready format, you usually get like insights such as, if you run it through a machine learning model, you get insights such as, most customers are usually buy, most prepaid customers usually buy between 10 and 2 on a Monday. So that's an insight.
Okay. Yeah.
So then you get to then communicate that to the relevant departments, maybe like marketing, and,
really
and you
nice,
tell them, guys, based on our insights, we're seeing that customers usually, there's the patterns, this is the behavior.
Yeah.
So you get the data,
Yeah.
decide to push it into business intelligence, machine learning, and then we get the insights, and then we get to present it. Then we present it to answer that question that was given to us. So it's a value chain of question, get the data from different sources, all the way up until through processing, business intelligence, engineering, and then also communicating and presenting it.
Yeah.
So that's my day to day. So I could spend like 2 days on one aspect of the data of the value chain.
Okay.
Or I could spend a week on one aspect of it. So
okay. So you're not jumping around every day doing the whole, or you can some days are like that.
It could.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, you also have like ad hoc requests, like optimizing certain processes and stuff. But
okay.
Yeah.
I honestly had no idea. Like you did. I'm like, oh, okay.
No, that's clarity. You ask, you receive answers.
Yeah. No, that sounds really cool. And how about like, are there any extra steps that you took to kind of? I know you touched on kind of like going from IT to getting in and being exposed to the different fields and given a choice to like explore.
Yes,
but are there any like extra steps that you had to take to kind of get there, or like was having your degree and getting into that company enough for you?
I think I was privileged because of my degree, if I'm being honest. There was not necessarily steps that I took to get into data science. It was mainly because I had pre-exposure to data already in varsity level. So like I said, it's computer science, but there's also like the informatics aspect of it. And in informatics, in your latter part of the degree years, what we touch on is things like you touch into data science and data warehousing and data lakes and stuff like that. So the things that I currently work on and work with, I've already been exposed to. Then there's the data science, the information science aspect of the degree, which touched on things like data governance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So data, in a way, I had already been pre-exposed to it. So the interest was already there. But because I had focused my efforts on computer science, by the time I got into industry and I was given the opportunity, I said, you know what, I think I've coded enough in school, outside of school, but let me try something new and to get it at least to a good proficiency level.
Okay, so do you do a lot of coding or like?
Yes.
Yeah. So it is like coding. So someone can say like, oh, I don't want to be a developer, so I'm going to be like.
Oh no. Unfortunately, that is one of the. If you're gonna ask me what are the technical skills that you would require, like that is one of them. Programming. So if you there's quite a few of them, but if we're going to touch on programming, for example, programming is very important. Like Python. Python is my love language at this point.
Oh, nice.
Because Python can do so much. I use Python, for example, to automate processes. So in that value chain, there's certain processes that can be manual. So what I do is I write scripts so that we can automate some of these processes. But also when you Python also gives you access to like a plethora of like libraries. You get stats libraries that you're going to use in data science. You get machine learning libraries that you get to use there. So it's also good for that. And what else? Oh, also Python is actually was configured or was made to deal with large data sets. So that's like some of the 3 basic benefits of using Python. So programming, unfortunately, is one of the things that you're gonna need.
Unfortunately. It's unfortunate.
You won't run away from it. You can't.
Yeah, hey, programming, some days it's like, do I want to be doing this?
Especially when you write code and then you have to debug it for hours. You obviously deal with that more often than I do. So but if you want to run away from coding because you said, you want to go into data science, unfortunately you're still going to end up, especially if you want to be data science. But if you want to just be like data analyst or data within a specific specialization, there are specializations which don't code. Business intelligence, they don't really code. So
so those are things you can look at if that's not the path if this is not the path you want to take. There's other options as well. And it sounds like it's a whole lot of things, different aspects and different things. So how do you stay motivated in your career? How long have you been working? How long have you now?
2 years in industry.
2 years. Okay. So how have you been staying motivated, or you still have the energy? Because it's
I mean, like I said, the nice thing is that we get to touch on different aspects, right? And that's what I love about it. The fact that every day can be different. Yes, there's days where we get to spend hours on analysis and the data can be so, you literally get out of the session with a headache because it's so much. And you can't make sense of it. And then what's sad is that the data might realize that it's not usable. It's unnecessary. Then you have to throw it out. So those hours were kind of in vain.
I didn't even know that was possible.
So how do I get motivated? Well, if analysis gets boring for me, then there's the automation part of it. If that gets boring, there's still the machine learning aspect of it. Then there's the dashboard and reporting aspect of it. Then there's the presentation aspect of it. So I don't think, because there's some aspects that I enjoy more than others, it gets motivating to know that if this gets boring or if this gets frustrating, I can jump into another specialization that I enjoy. And then also, to be quite frank, like, the different projects expose me to different frameworks and tools.
Yeah.
So I could jump into a different project with a different kind of ask, where they ask us for a specific set of data, or a specific analysis piece or insights. And then that requires me to work on a totally different platform.
Okay.
So there's some days where, for me to jump into Click was because I needed to work with a specific type of data sources that is plugged into Click. To work on Hadoop and Spark, I needed to get access to specific data sources. So I needed to learn those frameworks because I was in a new project. So different new projects that I get exposed to expose me to different skill sets, so I don't get bored. So I constantly develop that. And also just being able to jump around different specializations, I think also makes me less bored.
Okay. And do you do any of like these things out of work? Or is it?
No.
Okay.
So data science, I leave it at work.
Yeah.
Because it's already, like, it can be frustrating enough, to be honest.
Okay.
I love it, but for work, for 9 to 5. Outside of work, that's where the development aspect comes in. That's where I now put on my developer hat.
Okay.
And then
that's when you do like freelance projects and
exactly,
stuff like that. Oh, okay, cool.
So I don't run away from development.
Yeah.
I do it, but also enjoy it, you know. Sometimes, because
I get you, because
yeah,
because sometimes when I'm coding, there's sometimes like, did I choose the right career? Then I get it right, and I'm like, this is what I was meant to be doing.
That's the feeling that I want. Like, it's a high.
Yeah.
So recently, like, there's a project that I'm working in the public space where I had to use Laravel.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that I use Laravel. But because I think that's maybe a word of advice for your subscribers, people who are starting off with like fields in IT. Get your foundations right and solid, because then it will set you up for everything that you want to do on top of that. So if, for example, the best way I can put it is a for loop is a for loop in Python, in Java, in JavaScript, in C#, it's a for loop. It doesn't change into a while loop or do while loop or anything like that. So if you understand the fundamentals and you pay attention and you actually solidify them, when you jump into a new framework or new technology, you're just learning syntax, and that's it. Or that's mainly it.
Yeah.
So just to go back, so working on a project where Laravel, and the thing is, it was a bit frustrating because obviously it's a new framework, but because I've worked on projects where I had to do with PHP on the server side, and also I've worked with Angular, which has like an MVC structure. Yeah. I just merged the two concepts. I was like, okay, it's MVC and it's PHP, and Laravel is a PHP derivative. So I was like, okay. But I was working on the project, and there's some feature that was giving me a headache. Like, so like, I'm pretty sure you understand the struggle of balancing like 9 to 5 with your side hustles, where you're like, okay, after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, close my laptop, start working.
And what do they say? It's like you have a 9 to 5 and then a 5 to 9.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is what it is. But the problem with that is sometimes, especially with like development work, you say 9 to 5 is timed. You know, you start working from 5 o'clock, you're done. You can done, especially if you're done with your work. But the problem with the development side of it is you can't really put a time on it, because I can say I'm gonna work for 3 hours from 7 o'clock up until 10 o'clock. There was times where I'd work up until like 2 o'clock from 6 after work, and then 2 o'clock, and then I'm like, oh wait, I still have work in the morning. But when you get to solve that issue and you're like,
it's so rewarding.
Like it's a high that you can impose.
I think that's why I'm still here, because every time I win, I'm like, okay, I'm fine, I got this. This is like, I'm like, I'm a genius. I'm kind of a genius.
It gives you that, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna be Mark Zuckerberg. Like, give me Facebook.
Okay, so there's a whole like data. I feel like I actually didn't know much about data science, and already I've gotten so much from this. So how do you kind of stay up to date with all the latest developments? And are there any cool things we should know about, or are they just like ChatGPT and?
Okay, so sources that I use maybe to keep up to date is I'm typical. I'm vanilla in that sense. So I use newsletters.
Yeah.
So there's a particular newsletter that I subscribe to, which is Morning Brew. And what they do is it's a specific kind of newsletter. I like it because they give you summarized content of whatever they're updating you on. So you basically, when you sign up, you get to select what you want to get the feed on.
Okay.
So what you want to get information on. So I get data science and technology related information on a day-to-day basis.
All right.
They send it at a specific time, so you can tell them at specific times they send it, and it's summarized.
Okay.
And then you get enough from the summary.
Yeah.
So it's not like a newspaper where they give you a title on Google, like the articles where they give you a title and it grabs you, but when you read it, you're like, it's not really that interesting.
Yeah, that's
so they give you a summary, that clickbait.
Yeah.
So they give you a summary, and if you want to elaborate on the information, you can then go read a full extract of the article. So Morning Brew is one source. There's some social media people that I also follow.
Like
it would have been nice.
Tshegofatso. Videos like this.
Right. And then there's this other fantastic lady who does cybersecurity, because I try and keep up to date with tech in general, not just data science. So there's a lady on Instagram in cybersecurity. There's this other lady, a fantastic lady on Twitter as well, who does data stuff and gives like cheat codes and whatever. So I think social media and a bit of like newsletters keep me up to date. If you asked what interesting thing do I know recently? Well, so what I read recently from Morning Brew was one of the highly regulated fields, which is finance, is actually now starting to open up to like AI and technology advancements. Because usually, remember when Bitcoin and blockchain started coming up, people like those industries used to say, no, we don't want this, you know, we need to regulate. But now, ironically, JP Morgan is actually working with OpenAI to actually have their own version of ChatGPT, which is going to be Index GPT, and that's going to assist them with their financial advisors. So they want it in-house. So now you can imagine that even industries that used to say, no, we don't like this, it's an abomination, are now starting to say, you know what, I think we might need this. This might help us a lot. But that's an interesting fact. I don't know if
it is interesting, like, because like, you know, finance, I feel like they're all about, like, they're always the last ones. They don't want to touch these things, but that makes sense, because people's money, you need to make sure that things are right before you jump into that. All right then. And what
in terms of like since now you're speaking about like the finance, right? I would say the question now is, maybe might be like, do you really want these tools? Like, you know, like ChatGPT and stuff like that. You know, like they were first resistant, right? But one thing you have to understand, at least in the direction that we're heading in society, is that we need to find a balance between the tools, because obviously there's a fear on one side, which is, oh, these tools are going to replace us and stuff like that. But also, the way I think about it is, these tools like ChatGPT and stuff like that, what they do is they offer efficiencies, but human beings offer experience. Like when you go into a shopping center, you go into a particular spa because of how you got treated the last time, because the cashiers were nice, you know, everything was clean and everything, like the experience, right? Robots, I think, just add efficiency. So I think it's just a matter of finding balance. So I don't know how the industries are gonna regulate that. I know some industries people should be, unfortunately, scared about having their jobs replaced, but I think, you know what, the human element is still there. Like we still so value experience. But
Alright. Cool. So is there any like exciting things or things we should know about in the field of data science? Like what excites you right now?
Well, luckily, a lot of technical or technological advancements nowadays are actually like a result of data science. So if you look at TikTok, ChatGPT actually the most trending topic, right? But let's just go back. Like,
but TikTok, I like TikTok as well. So
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all these platforms, For them to actually cater the experience to you, that's a machine learning model.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, For You page.
Exactly.
It's really for me.
Sometimes when people now start complaining about, but then these technologies are going to take over the world. But I'm like, guys, you enjoy the benefits of them. It's nice to go on YouTube and you have almost like a curated experience for what you want to watch. It's nice to go on Twitter, whatever the case is, and you get to see things that you like.
Yeah.
But the result of that, unfortunately, is because of like machine learning. So the field of that. So but that's already an established field, because I mean, like, Netflix has already been around for how many years? The algorithm has already been developed years. Now it's just a matter of like it just improving on what it already has.
Okay.
But what I find very, very, very interesting is the developments in machine learning and NLP.
Okay.
And that is where now leads us to the conversation of like ChatGPT.
What is NLP again?
A natural language processing. So what that means is we basically teach models on how to learn how human beings speak naturally.
That's scary.
Because the thing is, you need to understand, like, robots or machine learning algorithms, what they do is they learn in data points. So they need to take a natural statement that you say and they break it apart. Literally, they'll say, so we treat whatever your input is called an utterance. Okay. So if you say, I want to buy data, that's an utterance. So you need to be able to understand what I is, what want is, and then categorize all these things.
Okay.
And then there's the want, which is the intent. So it knows you want to do something. What do you want to do? You want to buy data. So data is a journey. Okay. Then it needs to pull up the journey where you need to buy data.
Oh, wow.
So traditionally, if you look at chatbots before ChatGPT, legacy chatbots, how they would work is it would almost be like a menu where you go in the chatbot and it says type in hi, and then it starts the journey. Hi, I am the great chatbot, and I can give you these services 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Which one do you want to select?
Sure. And when you click the wrong one, it gives you the options again.
Exactly.
Choose one of these.
And that's frustrating, right? So with the advancements in NLP and machine learning, what that does is we're getting rid of menu options. Okay. And now what you're doing is you're going there as a normal human being, as if you're chatting to another person. So you go into a chatbot and you say, I want data.
Yeah.
And we're getting to a point where I think the advancement will be so good that telecoms, for example, can create chatbots where the journey is going to be literally one utterance, where you say, I want to buy 500 data. Immediately when you select send, the data is already, like, the airtime is already in your account. Everything has already been processed. So you don't have to go through the whole menu. No. So I love the fact that we're heading towards that direction. The advancements in that technology is it's crazy. Sorry, I know, but I love this as well. Like, you look at the advancements that Google has made. Google has this voice assistant which it blows your mind. So you think, I don't know if anybody has like Apple around here, because I don't want to mention her name. But if you say, hey, whatever, what is the weather? It needs a specific set of parameters to understand your request. If you say anything longer, it starts becoming confused.
I don't know what that means.
Google is developing, right? But Google is developing such an advanced technology whereby it's now, you can even say, change the appointment at this spa location for me for tomorrow. What it will do is literally will call the establishment. It will have a conversation with the person and even wait in between. So it will say, hi, I'm setting an appointment on behalf of Tshegofatso. And then we'll wait for the person to speak. Then it will say, oh, okay, well, what are the options? And it will hear what the person says and understand what this person is saying. And then respond to them. It even has nuances like, okay,
I know that excites you. But you're scaring me right now. Like, that's so scary.
I mean,
like, it's cool. But I'm like, how far are we going? But it sounds really cool, though.
Like, for me, what scares me is the level where Elon Musk, at least what I read recently, Elon Musk is scaring me with the level that he's trying to take it. Because apparently they're trying to develop a robot that's catered to him. So it's going to be like his personal wife, or like a wife for him.
Oh, wow.
Now imagine, they're basically saying, we're going to take your data, how you live your life, what you like, your preferences, and we're going to create the perfect partner for you.
Maybe I could use that one, actually.
That is wild. I don't know. I feel like the best thing about the human experience is I don't control you, and I don't expect you to like all aspects of me. Now imagine I know that there's no way you can leave.
Yeah.
Then there's no need for me to put an effort into a relationship. Like, I feel like the arguments are manufactured. Then it doesn't feel like, because like, if you're in a relationship, you guys fight because somebody maybe is stressed about at work. Look, now you have a robot that doesn't get stressed. When you get stressed,
and use
it
that
knows how.
personal touch and human interaction.
So that is what's scaring me in those advancements.
Okay.
But generally, I think the technology gives us a level of convenience that is worth more than what scares me personally.
But it all sounds exciting. So how are things looking for you and the future of your career? Like, what are your next steps?
I mean, I do have like I said earlier, so there's certain things that I don't want to implement immediately, like masters, because it's not great. I'm not yet ready to implement what I would learn from masters. So there is formal education that I'm still gonna pursue. It's still in the pipelines, and then that's gonna join with the kind of roles that I want. But essentially, things that I want to essentially get up to is like principal data specialist. But that's like the highest technical role I want before I then convert into like your managerial roles, because I think I also I would enjoy being like a leader and stuff like that, because also the supervisor that I had was technically superior, like Priv, like that's just a shout out to him, but I'm not gonna give his full surname because privacy and stuff, but super smart person, but also super good leader. So I want to be able to have that kind of like balance where I know I can manage people, but also if there's something going wrong on the ground level technically, I can also still contribute. So I think I'm still like, I want to develop my technical skills through formal education, but also working through corporate and stuff like that. I'd like to also grow managerial positions and stuff.
Thank you so much, and all the best on your journey with all of that you're looking to do. But thank you for sharing. It was so insightful, and I really hope you enjoyed this episode. And once again, it was brought to you by IT Business Tech. So if you're a small enterprise or an established business, they are dedicated to providing technology solutions tailored to your business needs. So be sure to check out the link in the description, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.